Hey everybody, sorry about that. A little bit of communication with Mr. Hoya Roc. Just ironing out some technical issues. He's trying to figure it out right now, and we'll be with him short. Boom, boom, boom. Waiting,
Yo,
waiting.
yo.
Yo!
What up? What up? I
Hoya,
made it.
Hoya Roc coming live from the fucking car, baby.
Hell yeah. I'm outside my cave. I said I had to get the fuck out, even if it's to the front of my house.
Yeah, fuck it. I interviewed Jake from Converge yesterday, and he was in his. On Monday, and he was in his car too. Like, yo, I gotta be out of here. You know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I've been in the house too long. We just go out to go get, fucking groceries and shit. And then most of the time, I just been locked in the cave. What's up
Yeah,
with
I'm at my house. I have a house in New Jersey, and I just been chilling there, and I'm just in here, man. Just fucking doing my thing.
I know this shit is crazy, man.
It's so nuts, dude. But
I,
yo, it's great to see you, dude.
yeah, it's been a minute, man. The last time I think it was in a hazy backstage.
Yeah, definitely a
Oh,
hazy.
one of the shows.
Yeah, exactly. So, Hoya, man, I start off all my interviews kind of the same way. I think I know your answer to this, but I want to let everybody else know. If you weren't at home right now, do you know where you'd be at? I think the B&B would be coming up, right?
Yeah, I think actually the B&B would have been this last weekend or some shit like that.
Mm.
The crazy thing was that we were literally going out to fly out to Europe, start to go with Knock Loose, Harm's Way, and other people in Europe. Um, the Friday, the lockdown happened on a Wednesday night, Thursday. That Friday was supposed to be our first show,
Oh,
and we literally had that shit canceled. We were literally checking flights when we were like officially canceling tours. So
fuck. Yeah,
crazy.
I know a couple of people who got stuck abroad, man. Like, like I have a friend named TJ who was stuck in Sweden for a while and then crazy shit, you know?
Yeah, like my whole shit was like I wouldn't, I wasn't even so much worried if we were out there about getting back. It was just more like nobody knew what the fuck was happening in Germany. First it was Austria, they were shutting shit down. Switzerland was shutting shit down. And when Germany starts doing it, Germany's like America. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, okay, now the just
Everybody's doing it.
powers are involved. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
exactly, like it's serious.
Fuck, man. That's pretty wild shit, dude. So, yeah, obviously we're all in this fucked up situation, so we're here just trying to make the best of it to, at least to talk music if we can't do music, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Um, so basically, yeah, that's what we're doing. So I just let's just, we're going to start from the top, man. We're going to start from the youngest of days over here. Uh Wait, you still over there? Hold on, we're getting a little. There you are. There you are. There you are, man. Don't be shifty with me, man. Stay with me.
No, what were you saying?
I said we're gonna just start it from the top, man. So when you were a young kid, man, what was the first kind of music that you grew up kind of listening to? I feel like we grew up halfway similar, but a world apart.
Yeah, New York City, so it's like right away I was a hip hop kid, very young. Hip hop was everywhere. But I had an older brother, so he was always into hardcore and like very extreme metal, thrash. Back then it was black dark metal. But before the black metal, when it was death metal, before the death metals but he was into all that shit early on. So we always had the extreme in my house. I always liked the most gangster hip hop. He always liked the most extreme metal and hardcore. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I was actually more hip hop, and then later on, you just pick it up in the background. I always loved Black Sabbath. You know what I mean? So that was always like, right in the background. And then, in the in between, as a kid, I would hear the Iron Maidens, like, oh, I like some songs. You know what I mean? And then when maybe I heard it later, I was like, as far as metal, I was like, okay, that's the metal I like. Because I already was familiar with hardcore and like the old hardcore, like that, like Discharge, real aggressive, mean shit. So I was like, okay, not so much into the whole gimmick stuff, but I like metal sonically a lot. And then at the time, the hardcore rock, that wasn't so crazy. ironically, but I was like, yo, that shit's on some real shit. And I could feel it in a more real way. Even though I took from metal, I love the grooves and the technical and the breakdown, but hardcore is all, soul. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not that metal can't be, but here hardcore, if it's shitty or good, you kind of tell it's that person, You
I feel like it's about the swagger, man. It's about the swagger that, like, it's almost like the blues. A lot of things are played kind of similarly, but it's just how you
yeah,
bring your little,
exactly. Now it's different, but in general, hardcore you were able to tell because there was the strokes were bigger. In metal, you had to be a certain way, and if you were a certain way, you fell into your genre. Since hardcore was punk and the stuff that didn't fall into metal, you could kind of, be a little bit more original at the time. Not that everybody's original, but you had more room to be original in hardcore, I think, at least back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite as established as metal too at the time, right?
Exactly. So you
it's
could
like
kind of you could
those
kind
bands
of
are huge already.
absolutely. So I love that metal was kind of had when you heard metal, it's like, oh, you had to like Metallica, or else you weren't a metalhead. Just metalhead came from Metallica in my book. I was like, oh, metalhead. That's what I call the guys that are Metallica guys, thrash guys. So I was like, okay, they had their godfathers up front, and then at the time we're still picking out the AFs and whoever else you want to put in the category. At the time, Think of It Alls were coming up. They're the godfathers, but at the time they were still at
Yeah, they were young,
but they were that band. You know what I mean? The bands like that, and and it's crazy, but
yeah, it's amazing what it became. And you grew up in Queens, right? In Corona?
Yeah, Corona, Queens. I literally just moved out of there 8 years ago. I live in South Florida now. But yeah, I grew up in Corona, Queens. Junction Boulevard, stops from Shea Stadium, for like 6 blocks from the Lemon Ice King, Spaghetti Park. The whole great part about my area was it was really, people say New York's a melting pot. My neighborhood was a melting pot because it was Colombian, Polish, Italian, Thai, Pakistan, Nepalese. People that you never heard of lived in Elmhurst, Queens, Corona, Jackson Heights, Colombian, Mexican, Panama, Ecuadorians. You know how it is. Like, you name it, we had it. So us hanging out, we always had, oh, let's go to my boy's house. Okay, my boy's Irish. All right, corned beef. And, during St. Patty's, they do that. All right, then during Christmas, they come to my house and they're eating pernil. And then I got some friends, they were Chinese. All right, yo, Chinese New Year, we go eat.
Yeah.
So it was like, and then, they got, some of our boys were metal hip hop or classic metal. And then we hook up, we all kind of start listening to what everybody else, each other were listening to.
Yeah. And just kind of learning from one another about all sorts of, different cultures and things like that. And that's one of the greatest things about, where we're from is there's obviously so much of that. So you, first being into hip hop and, getting with your brother and then starting to go to shows and stuff like that. When did you start deciding to be like, yo, I'm going to start a band?
What's funny that, it was just a couple of our friends. We always hung out and, let's start a band. Right. So we said we start a band. We said we start a band without instruments before we had instruments. So it was kind of like, fantasy band. We're like, all right. One of my boys was a DJ. So we're like, yo, there's no band DJ, but we're going to put a DJ anyway. Because we were homeboys, And then we're like, I go, oh, fuck it, I'll play bass. My brother always wanted to play bass, so I said, it must be cool if he wanted to do it. That was kind of the only reason. And then it was like a make-believe band with no instruments. We're like 12, 13. And then when we were hanging out around 15 years old. We were hanging out with a bunch of our friends from the neighborhood that they already had bands started. So one day we were sitting around and we were listening to Crucial Chaos, the old hardcore station from NYU. That was like,
Huge.
you know,
Big
back.
deal.
And then I was hearing, we were sitting in front of my stoop drinking and blazing, and we were like, I go, yo, what the fuck? I go, they'll play anything on this, because I heard some horrible shit. And I was like, my big mouth, I go, if this could get on the radio, anybody could get on the radio. I said, yo, I bet we could come up with some shit right now and get on the radio. And then my homeboy Jeer goes, okay, let's start a band. I said, okay, bet. And then he goes, all right, what we're going to call it? He said, Demise. And I go, what does that mean? I didn't even know what it meant. And he goes, it means the end. I said, all right, bet. And I said, okay, I'll buy a bass.
And you guys just reissued a bunch of Demise stuff and made merch and did a bunch of stuff, right? So that was the first band that you were ever in, was Demise.
Yeah, first band ever in. Like, literally, we bought instruments and said, okay, let's start writing songs. So I learned, like, Iron Man, how to play Iron Man, and then since then was always my own songs. So in reality, I don't know how to play a lot of other bands' tunes because I was always a writer from jump. So like in some ways it's good, but it's a lot of ways it's whack. Like I jump in on the, yo, let's do Breaking the Law, and I just jump in and start playing because I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what the lyrics, but I don't know how to play it.
But in a way, though, that probably kind of preserved your sort of natural, you weren't too influenced. So you went like kind of straight into it, right? You were just like,
absolutely. That's the one thing, like, if people like what I do or not, I was right away a songwriter. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't know it, I was like, okay, we're a band. That means we have to write songs. Okay, that means we got to write riffs. So I liked the idea of something like a team. And like watching it get bigger and better, building on it. It's like,
yeah. So were you the main songwriter in Demise too? Were you always kind of bringing stuff to the table, or how did you start kind of filling that role?
I think so. Like we were all jam, but I think I was the more motivated as far as having a tape recorder, recording, and then to say, man, I need a drum beat. So what I used to do was I would listen to a lot of hip hop videos. So I would set up my radio next to the television to drown out. So I would get enough of the drum beat from the rap song and enough of my guitar amp. I had it proportioned, set up so I would write to hip hop videos.
See, I remember that you posted this online the other day, and I wanted to ask you about it because I feel like maybe 6 months ago you posted, I forget what song it was, but it was a drum loop.
Yeah, it was Rakim, and
it was Rakim to set it off, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was so blown away.
Because I always was like, man, I wish I had a drummer here. And back then, before, having Garage Band and all that shit, so I would play the rap videos, and I would just play videos.
Yeah, so
I felt, hardcore was like, I know.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish I knew that when I was DJing more, man. I would have fucking fucked that mashup up when a heartbeat, I was like, come on, Hoya, give me the real shit. What the fuck?
And you know what? I even, on the last album we did, the last Madball album, what I did was, I would drain myself with thinking of, drum loops and stuff. So I would go on YouTube. I'm giving everybody a little secret right now. Go on YouTube and put rock drum beats or whatever, and whatever BPM, 80 BPM, 100 BPM, fire speed, and I would just start jamming to those drum beats.
Wow.
And I literally wrote probably 90% of my last album kind of using the idea, starting my ideas of YouTube drum.
Which is kind of like you just taking them off, music video box or whatever.
Minus it's already cleaned out for me, you know what I mean? It's just the loops. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I could just jam. And then if I like it, then I try to, then I record on my Garage Band and go in. Or I tell my drummer, yo, I send him that idea, and he goes, okay. Then
yeah, like, yo, I got this kind of BPM, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's basically what's up. So
exactly.
So basically, you started kind of writing these songs. You're doing your stuff with Demise. How did Madball start coming together? and how did that kind of situation work itself out?
Well, so it was crazy because well, Freddie, when he was a little kid, Freddie used to come out with AF. You know, Rogers is older brother, so they used to take him on tour. So
he was like 10, right?
No, his first time on stage, he was 7.
Wow, damn.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I seen the video. The video might even be online somewhere. But he was 7 years old, and he would get up and sing a song. So they would always bring him on stage to sing a song. And then, you know, right away, Stigma was like, yo, let's do a 7-inch. You know, they all were like, yo, let's get Freddie out there. Would ask, yo, is Freddie gonna sing the song? Is Freddie gonna sing the song? So they did a 7 when he was 12 years old. The first Madball 7. So they did that. It was basically all the agnostic guys and old AF songs. So,
yeah.
You know, they basically recorded that with Freddie. They put that out. And then fast forward, Freddie moves back to New York when he's around 15 years old. They said, hey, they wanted to hack back. They wanted to try to do the band again. They put out a 7-inch with agnostic front guys called Drop It Suckers. Now, on that 7-inch, I'm on the cover. I'm one of the guys on the cover, but I wasn't in the band yet. It was still the AF guys, but they didn't want to put themselves. They thought, yeah, it's corny, dudes or whatever. So Freddie basically said me, my homeboy Nard, and Steve Huey, who's a good friend of ours and a tattoo artist in Brooklyn, we were like filling the picture. People don't know that.
That's amazing.
And
you guys were like you're like constructed like a boy band, but then you guys could really play.
No, but basically it was just for the picture since we were friends, you know.
Totally, yeah.
And then what happened was simultaneously Demise was already at the end of its legs, you know what I mean? Guys were growing out of it, moving on. And we were already hanging out, Freddie, me, all the guys. So they knew I played bass. So Madball was going to start doing a couple weekend shows, and Roger was moving to Florida to become a Harley Davidson mechanic.
Oh,
right?
shit.
Yeah, he did that many years ago. So basically, he wasn't around, and they asked me, yo, you want to fill in for a couple of weekends, maybe a tour? And then I said, yeah. That was 26 years ago.
Fuck, man, that's crazy. And then how did it come about where you guys just started writing stuff and I guess, you know, kind of growing into your own?
You know, it kind of happened, you know, little by little. Like, I really didn't, you know, my schooling, you know, doing the first album with the AF guys, with Matty Henderson.
Yeah.
Guys like Matty Henderson, Willie, you know, Stigma, all those guys. Like, I learned everything from him. You know, that guy, he already had done records. Like, I just barely learned what string I use on my fucking bass. You know what I mean? And he taught me how to listen. He taught me kind of how to pay attention, what to worry about and what not to worry about. And I always loved his music. And he always made me what do you call it? He made me he always gave me gas. Like, yo, he liked what I wrote. So
yeah.
First, I was really nervous about writing for them. He had asked me, yo, you got any riffs writing some songs? Give me some riffs. And I was already on some more crossover groove shit. And I was like, man, I don't know. These guys want to do some real old style shit. At least in my head was.
And you're like, I'm writing shit to Rakim here.
Exactly. Like, and I'm a little more like, exactly. And they were like, no, give it to me. And one of the first songs I wrote, I got this song, but I don't know. And I was real nervous and ended up being Set It Off. And I remember playing it for Maddie. And right away, Maddie goes, yo, what's that? And I was like, yo, if you want to change it, it's cool. And he goes like, no. What is that? And I was like, yo, he's like, no, I like it. What else you got? And then I felt a little bit like, yo, fuck, this guy likes it. All right, cool. And I felt a little bit like, okay, not as nervous. And again, I was.
So we got to thank Matt Henderson for knowing that Hoya has the juice.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. All right, cool. I always knew I liked Matt, and now I know why. Because he could have ruined Set It Off. He could have ruined it. He could have been like, no, let's change everything.
Exactly. No, everything Maddie is crazy because everything he said he tried, the stuff that I did, he always said that's what he was trying to do, and everything I was doing was trying to write what he was trying to do. You know what I mean? So I think we complemented each other because we both liked what we did. You know what I mean? Like competition, it was more like, fuck, that shit is dope. I gotta kill it.
Yeah, yeah. And there's the spirit of camaraderie, which is so cool from like a musician who you were looking up to at the time, an older guy, plays in a, you know, legendary band, still legendary band.
And he, you know, he's a fucking killer player. You know, I was really rough. Like, I was more heart and soul when he was heart and soul and technique. I got more finesse as the years went, but it was through learning through him. You know, that because of him, you know, I know what I know. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So when, you know, obviously, like for me, I was saying before you kind of came on and we had our little interruption there, you know, Madball for me is like a tremendous band. Like as I was getting into hardcore, you know, Sick of It All and Madball really taking off. And like, you know, I'm like this little scrawny Colombian kid in the suburbs of New York. And I'm like, yo, this shit is wild. I love this shit.
That's all of us, you know what I mean? Same thing.
Yeah, man. And I really felt that. And I felt like, wow, it's really cool. These Latino guys, like, you know, making heavy music and shit. It was like guys like you and Freddie and Dino Cazares and then Freddie Alva. Shout out to Freddie Alva.
Oh, yeah, Freddie.
On Hardcore, wrote a beautiful piece about Latinos in hardcore and metal that everybody should check out on No Echo. But you guys really always, you know, wave the flag for that and always really appreciate it.
And that's cool. And I'm glad because that's what Roger was for me. You know what I mean? When I was like, yo, you kidding me? AF and he's fucking Cuban? Or when I hear, what? Dave Lombardo, Cuban? Enough said. You know what I mean? I was like, fucking Slayer and AF? I mean, you can leave that shit right, you know, enough said.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, motherfuckers, you know, we have a place for this. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck yeah. I felt very much the same way. And there was always that spirit and, you know, Freddie writing lyrics in Spanish and English and all that. So I was really respected that, and like the whole band always had that kind of New York swagger and stuff. When did you guys start to kind of feel that, like, obviously, you know, Freddie's kind of coming off of this momentum of AF and stuff, but you guys started really, you know, writing your own shit, set it off, all of that stuff. When you dropped Demonstrating My Style and stuff, when did you start feeling like, whoa, this has got like a lot more legs than I ever really thought? Like, holy shit.
Yeah, probably during probably Demonstrating My Style. Like, again, no, we didn't even expect, you know, when Roadrunner, how he offered to sign us, we were like, we signed the most big deal because we were even like, you don't even think we're a real band. You know what I mean? Like, and the biggest band wants to sign us? Are you kidding me? Like, they don't even know what they're doing. You know, this was our mentality. Like, you know, we're just a little hardcore band. You know, what the fuck kind of thing. And then, and we were doing what we do kind of thing. But, you know, when the first record came out, it made noise. We didn't expect it. But I remember that we were getting ready to do, we did Demonstrating My Style, and Roadrunner flew me and Freddie to Europe just to do press. And I said, yo, wait a minute. They're flying us for 2 weeks or a week or whatever it was just to do press. Everything paid for, bars, hotels, anything we wanted. You know, Freddie was living in what? We were all living like crazy. And we're like, are you serious? Like, and, you know, people driving us around, or, you know, whatever we want, or at the hotels. We were like, wait a minute, they might have something to this music shit. You know what I mean?
That's wild. Were you guys, was that the first time you were ever out of the country?
No, my first time out of the country, let me see if I can turn this light on. First time out of the country was actually early on with Madball. Well, as a kid, I went to Mexico on vacation with the band. The first place I ever went was Buenos Aires in Argentina in 1993.
Oh, shit.
Madball went out there for 3 shows, and it was probably one of the craziest times of my life. And just everything about it was amazing. The people, we still got friends that we see to this day that were part of that. And to me, it's, you know, literally my first experience flying out of the Madball. Put it like this, there was smoking on airplanes. Crazy.
That's some like Mad Men shit.
Nuts.
I mean, what were you exactly smoking? We won't.
Another story, but cigarettes back then. Although now I would add, the medicine.
Yeah, fuck. But yeah, no, that's pretty amazing too. So you're just like in Europe for the first time, just like we're not even fucking playing music.
And then we were like, okay, people like, telling us, like really telling us, wow, your music get through this, that, and we're like, it's really dope that people use music like that, but we just tell stories about our own life, kind of thing. So it's dope that it helps people out, and I think people related to it. You know what I mean? And
for sure, yeah.
Probably not till like our third album, the Took My Way, we were kind of like, oh, I think we're a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, you started to kind of take it a little bit more seriously and stuff. I remember talking to Freddie when we went on tour and stuff like that, and to you as well. And you guys talked a lot about Obituary and how you guys like toured a bit with Obituary, and they really, you guys just kind of watched them operate a little bit, and you learned a lot from them. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was what Freddie early on, because Freddie was teching with. He was basically on the road with AF teching, and he actually had to fill in for Roger because Roger had a injury he had to take care of on the road. So it was on the tour where it was AF, Malevolent Creation, Cannibal Corpse, Obituary back in the day. Yeah, crazy. It was a classic tour.
Hard.
Yeah, but back then it was always like, especially with Obituary, they were one of the bands that they were like a hardcore band. You know what I mean? It was like the Celtic Frost band of metal, it was, you could hear the punk rock, the hardcore influence, like out in the open. And those guys, same vibe, and very good dudes, they're good friends of ours.
Fuck yeah.
Very dudes. But, they were like, wow, man, look at, again, in the hardcore scene, a lot of people like to talk shit about metal, but all these dudes, 9 out of 10 hardcore kids started metal, and the fact is, we looked at the metal guys as, okay, that's how the pro shit is done. Even if they weren't pro, they took on direction, and that's where hardcore benefited. Like, yo, there's nothing wrong with sounding good. There's nothing wrong with playing tight. There's nothing wrong with tuning your strings. There's nothing wrong with starting and stopping at one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where you learn, and then you're like, okay, sonically, being tight, being professional, and even tech-wise, we got to see how other types of bands work. And again, we're all students of the game. You know what I mean? We want it to be as real as possible, but we also want to show the big dogs we could kill that too, like you.
Fuck yeah. No, absolutely. You sometimes post about that Dynamo Fest from back in the day. What was it like playing to such a humongous crowd on that one particular day with like all these crazy events? I think about the fact that you guys were even on that fest, and I was like, wow, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, it was the biggest show to date for us and the worst show ever we played. It's fucking, I wish if any day in my life I could redo, it would be that day. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. And it happens to be the show in our history that people come up to me till this day. First time I see Madball was done in 95, and I'm like, tell me that. Because just everything about it was bad for us.
Yeah.
But
rough show.
Yeah, it was just because we weren't, before that, a festival for us was, they go, oh, you're playing a festival, and we're playing a parking lot for 350 people. Now they put us on a stage. When we went on, it's 90,000 people, one stage. My bass board didn't even reach the fucking, my mic stand. Listen, if you watch the Dynamo 95 video, watch my mic stand. It's halfway in the middle of the stage because my cord wouldn't reach. We never played nothing close to that size.
See, I thought that was your swag, man. I thought that was like Hoya sets his
exactly
different.
Oh my God. Freddie fell off the stage like 3 songs in. the stage was a fucking 2 stories high. Like, but it was the first time a lot of people were getting to see a hardcore band, and back then there was hardcore bands weren't doing those type of shows. You know, Stick of It All was around. You know, a couple other bands were around, but playing big festivals, there'd be one hardcore band.
Yeah, I mean, on that lineup, that was pretty much. I mean, it was you guys. You guys were.
The closest thing was Doggy Dog, but you know, even them, they were, you know, their own thing. It wasn't the same, but that's the closest.
Madball.
Exactly, you know, and it was that, but it was like I never forget. We went on at 1:20 in the afternoon, and I said, "Who the fuck is gonna want to see us? We ain't nobody. We're gonna stand in front of the stage, in front of nobody. It's gonna be the worst day of our lives." And when we walked on stage, that shit was fucking front to back. It was packed.
Fuck, man, that's crazy.
The worst show of our lives.
Yeah, which is really kind of funny because when I think of Madball, I think of you guys as a live band juggernaut. I mean, I've seen you guys like 15 times in a row, and it was insane every time. So don't feel too hard up on it.
So we learned from that video. That's the video we look at what not to do.
But that's kind of an amazing thing, though, is that you guys just learned from that experience, right? You were like, okay, look, we're in front of tons of people. We're not going to beat ourselves up over it. We're just going to take from that, and we're going to keep trying to level up and level up and level up and do your shit.
Absolutely. We always said we always try to step our game up sonically, you know, musically, aesthetically. With everything we do, we always try to step a notch up. Why go backwards? We try to go forward. You know what I mean? And it's us. You know what I mean? It's us working on us. Why wouldn't we? I mean, it's not like we're doing just for the band. The band is it's literally an arm and a leg for Freddie. You know? For whole band.
So one of the things that I always found really interesting too is that I feel like Madball. I mean, I never knew you guys played in Buenos Aires in fucking '93. That's insane. Especially, I mean, you know, I would hardly go to Bogota in '93 to visit my family, much less play a fucking hardcore show. But one of the things that I think Madball always really connected to, like an international hardcore scene, and I forget the name of the song right now, but the video that you guys did talking about stepping up aesthetically that you guys did down in Brazil, like
100%,
in all the favelas and stuff. That video to me was like incredible. Could you talk to me a little bit about how that fucking came together?
And for me personally, that's probably the most important thing Madball ever did. The existence of the band was not make a video there, but that day, what happened that day, it was just. Obviously, we were writing a song about being proud of our heritage, and we also said we want to show our real heritage, you know. And not everything is a beach with people surfing, drinking a pina colada like people think. You know what I mean? But we are also proud of who we are and where we come from, and we are regular people. You know what I mean? So we wanted to show regular people. Our regular people, you know what I mean? People, our blood, you know, it doesn't even have to be just, you know, South American, human, whatever, but South Americans, we wanted to show the everyday South American. We basically, with good friends from Brazil, Questions, go check them out. Basically, some of the guys grew up in that favela, and we said, it'll be cool to get those aesthetics for a video, so we started on the outskirts. And I never forget, you know, taking shots, and then we saw like 2 or 3 kids just kind of watching, and like kind of wow, you know, they were just kind of excited watching the video. And as we were moving, hey, yo, come along. Those 3 kids turned into 6. Those 6 turned into 10. The 10 turned into 20, 20 to 40, 40, and just, I mean. I hope one day we're playing about a DVD one day, and we have footage from that day. That, for me personally, I want to do a DVD on the history of Madball, just that part of the footage and that story, because it was like a very, it was a crazy day for the band, a special day, and it felt good for us to, you know, to take out the music we do and also see the connection to our roots. You know, who would think, you know, South Americans, you know, listening to hardcore music. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that one of the things, it just felt really organic in the way like Freddie kind of addressed everybody about like what the band was about and everything like that. It just felt like, yeah, it didn't feel like, okay, now we're gonna round up the kids and then we're gonna go here. Just it felt like, wow, all right, cool. Madball's just chilling out in Brazil and doing cool shit.
I would tell that to people. I say people, you know, some of the people that were around, I would tell them, I go, people are like, yo, you know, be careful, be careful. I go, be careful of what? They look like my cousins. You know, they look like my nephews. They look like my sisters. Be afraid of who? Sure, you be careful. I know what they meant. But I was like, nah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody was smiles. Like, you know, it was just
enough. It was a vibe, man. You could just feel it through the whole fucking thing.
And at the end of the day, my boy Pablo, he played for Questions also. He did a lot of the you know, the filming and all that, and he killed it. He caught the video, an essence, a time, a moment.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All my brasileiros out there.
Yeah, man, dude. I absolutely, that's definitely my favorite Madball video by far. Yeah. So, you know, just keeping kind of moving with Madball. I mean, you guys have been doing this for a long time, and I think that honestly, you guys in Sick of It All, especially toured so much, so often, really paved the road for, I think, a worldwide hardcore movement and scene and everything like that. What, you know, obviously, you know, we're all home because we have to be, but what kind of keeps you still like excited and like motivated about the fucking game? Because I mean, I follow you on Instagram and I feel like you're writing songs every fucking day.
Yeah, I am. You know what it is? As much as I'll sometimes be like, kids stay in school, all that shit. I know I'm fucking lucky to do what I do. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't see no royalty checks. I don't got 401k. We gotta fucking work hard and play shows to get what we got. But even with that being said, I know we're very lucky. We got brothers and sisters around the planet. You know, if I have a bed to lay on my family, help. I got family all over the planet. You know, that alone, you know, I feel special that the whole band does. And we're also lucky that all the people that have been supporting us for the years, they've been growing with us. They stuck with us. That's why we also feel like, yo, we got to rep, because a lot of people are counting on us to rep for them. You know what I mean?
For sure.
We're lucky, man. Just, again, being able to create the shit we want, because nobody ever tells us what to do. Ever. Ever. Aesthetically, anything. We do the fuck we want. And we're lucky that we're able to do that, and people feel it when we do it, and it works. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I'm sitting here talking to you, you know, and a musical life is definitely awesome, you know. I'm like, I got, you know, me and Chris have been talking, and Artie have been talking to people every day from all over the, you know, all over the fucking world about music. So it's a beautiful fucking thing, right? Absolutely. Yeah, right. So, Hoya Roc, there's a couple other things. Speaking of Brazil, you're a big fan of the combat sports, as I am as well. How long you been doing jiu-jitsu, my man?
You know that, well, I done it on and off. I never made no rank. I've been training on and off since the mid-90s. I would do it like, you know, I always loved the sport, and I'd always follow the sport, so I'd get any training in I could. I started early on with Henzo in New York. I started with a Japanese style, and when Henzo picked up his spot early on, we were in there early. Shout out to Henzo Gracie. He's New York hardcore's jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking, yeah, early on, we started training there, and, you know, and again, we were going to Brazil early on. So right away, you know, I would get jiu-jitsu videos in magazines from Rio, and I would bring them over. They weren't even in English, just to look at the pictures.
That's a lot.
None of that shit over here. And I was lucky that I was up on it early on, and the whole MMA game, and I loved it. And early on, also, my good friend, my brother Remco Pardo from Holland, he was in the early UFCs. world jiu-jitsu champion from Holland and hardcore guy too. You know, we hooked up with him at Dynamo 95. You know, so already then we were like, oh, talking the jiu-jitsu shit. And Billy and all the biohazard guys, they were training early on too.
Yeah, man. I mean, we need like a Casa de Roc sponsored UFC champion, man. I think we deserve one, man.
I know. Somebody's gonna come, but yeah, early on, you know, I would do some. I'm actually doing that. The Casa de Roc. I'm reprinting a new line of for the jiu-jitsu guy, because a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, you know, a lot of guys are training now, and I love the sport, and they're hardcore guys. So I'm doing some spats and we're doing some rash guards we're working on, but you know,
yeah, and for people who are watching who don't know, Casa de Roc is Hoya Roc's clothing brand. Awesome hardcore shit, really cool. You got to check it out.
House, I do everything myself. Disney doesn't run that shit. The Rock does.
Fly DIY, kid.
You know that.
We got a question in the comments. Who's your favorite MMA fighter? Or at least give me the top three.
Oh, favorite? Oh, man. You know, right now, I'm in Miami, so Masvidal, shout out. Game Bread, I love Masvidal. Who else is around now? Damn, there's so many good guys now. Let me tell you, Gilbert Burns, he's from down here.
Turino. Yeah. He's fighting Tyrone. He's fighting Tyrone.
It's going to be great. I love Tyrone, too. That's going to be
You know, people shit on that dude, but he's a fucking monster.
They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. But I'll tell you right now, I gotta say, Masvidal, not just because the hype, he's been around for a long time, and I like his game.
You know, he's only lost in most of the fights that he lost a lot of split decisions. But if you go back, I mean, it's not like he got knocked out or, you know, he was way outclassed. The dude has got great hands, and I think when he went on that reality show, his mentality changed. He's a killer now, man. He's coming out. And I love him.
You know, I'm liking a lot now too is Angie Hill. Yo, let me tell you,
she won that fight.
She got robbed, but I've been following her. First, it bugged me out because she came out. I heard her come out to it was a Marth, some metal shit a bunch of fights ago, and I was like, oh, she likes metal dope, but I liked her style. And every fight, she's becoming a killer. Literally,
dude.
Fight.
Yeah, actually, my friend Mike Cohn has a good friend that we were hanging out with in Muay Thai fighter from New York. Shout out to Mike, his Bateman Skincare on here. And Angie's really good friends with this dude. And like, he told me a couple things, and then I listened to her on Rogan, and it's like the fact that she's improved and gotten so good so fast in MMA. She's only getting better. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm a big Angie fan from New York.
Yeah,
shout out to Overkill. You won that fight, Angie.
Hell yeah, you won that. And let me tell you, I've been watching her hands. I follow her, and her hands are ridiculous. Her hands are getting gonna be breaking people. She has been. But
definitely.
And again, you know, I'm the Diaz guys. You know, I like, you know.
I have to be honest. We have to talk about something. I rooted for Conor McGregor over Nate Diaz. And I think that hurt our relationship.
A little bit.
You know, but I'm a big Masvidal guy. Just so you know, I'm a little bit more.
I'll tell you this. This is the thing. I'm not a Conor hater because how the Conor haters are for being a Conor hater. I just thought it got to the point that, you know, I love the banter because I think I'm a funny guy too, and he's nice. He got great hands. He's dope. But the whole thing too much was about I'm making more money than you. I'm making more money. Like, okay, we're in the prize game. You ran those lines. Okay. Now, you know, Diaz was shutting him up, basically saying nothing. You know, because it became like, okay, dude. And then it got to the point, I want to see you lose just because of your mouth.
Sure, yeah.
You know.
And that's what you want to watch.
And but I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
I'm not the super Conor fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I like him, but he's very beatable, and the top guys can all beat one another, and that's
cool. Who else? Derek Lewis. That's probably my favorite fighter.
He's such a funny motherfucker, dude. Hilarious, dude.
Like that's the man. I follow him too. He's crazy.
He's unbelievable. Totally, man. So getting back to music for we got 10 more minutes, and so I want to get back to music. There's been a couple of a couple of questions here too. Chris, my co-host, has been badgering me to ask you, what are your top 5 favorite New York hardcore records? What are the ones that, if you had to go onto a deserted island, what would you take?
Right now, Victim and Pain, Age of Quarrel, Killing Time. I call him Raw Deal still. Brightside.
Shout out to Carl.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's my number one. Leeway, Born to Expire, and the first Murphy's Law record. Boom, hands down.
Dude, first round KO for all these motherfuckers to take.
It. And then, close right after that. Then you got Sick of It All coming in right or whatever. But that should be your base. And if you stick with it or not, you should sprout out of that.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you heard it from the OG right here. I mean, you can't really disagree with that. And by the way, for some people, that would have taken them like the rest of the time. You got this shit done like.
Nah, because that's just, again, there's a lot of greats in between. I loved Rest in Pieces. I love to say, but, there's whatever. But I think those core bands for New York hardcore you could springboard over that. From the Murphy's Law style to go into a more DC style sound, party vibe, the AF was old style punk that turned more crossover metal. The Raw Deal is that New York hardcore swaggy shit. The Leeway brought that thrash with the music. I got my record down. I'm a student and I'm a fan of hardcore music. Fuck
yeah, dude. And you said it right there. You got a nice, you got all the different little subsections in all that shit. So I think that is, for me, I think that a lot of that stuff would obviously make the grade for fucking sure, and for anybody else. How about if you had to take, like 5 records that were just kind of a little bit more chill and like, listen in the crib or maybe whatever? What would be like 5 records you would take like that?
Well, first of all, be Michael Jackson Thriller.
Dude, talk to me about it.
Album I ever bought with my own money. So let's just start with that.
I love that.
I love everything Black Sabbath, but I don't know if that's considered chill. But
I'm gonna give you a pass because you could put on Fairies Wear Boots and just like hang.
But out of chill music, I'll say also I love all the Motown stuff. All the Temptations, all that. It's like, to me, I fell in love. The older I get, the more I love it, and the more you forget they grew up with you. All the Jackson 5 stuff. The Temptation stuff, the Four Top stuff. And
if anybody hasn't been to Hitsville, USA, and they go to Detroit, go. It's a fucking amazing museum.
We went and we made the band like fucking after a show, 3 in the morning. I said, I don't give a fuck. I'm rubbing that door, and that's what I did. I went up and I was rubbing the doors. I wanted that shit.
Fuck yeah, for real.
But
well, I like that. I like that for sure. And actually, somebody in the comments just said, does Hoya still listen to freestyle? And before this, all I listen to is freestyle.
Hell yeah.
J, fucking Lisa and the goddamn
girl. Oh, wow.
I was all in this. I was getting ready.
Again, my sister, rest in peace, she passed away. But in my house, I was listening to hip hop. My sister's listening to freestyle, and my brother listening to hardcore metal. So and I'm not even joking when I say this. In Madball, there's freestyle essence, but not so much in the dance, but in how the beats move. And if you hear New York City, the beginning of New York City's a who made to take you home, and you can police. It's just
because I need you tonight. Now I'm there with you, baby.
There's those feelings, and we were always into groove and hit and bounce.
Yeah.
So anything percussion comes out in the music. You know what I mean? But
sure.
I would say freestyle, absolutely.
Yeah, Freddie and I talked about freestyle on the road a bit too, and we were just like, yo, like. It was pretty quick that we all got along because we had all these kind of similar, kind of touch points and stuff like that.
And Freddie's crazy with that shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. Freddie loves the club, man.
All that. He'll be like,
I've seen this. So another question here is, we got to complete the trifecta. We talked about some freestyle. We talked about some, kind of easy listening, some hardcore. We got to talk about the hip hop, my man. If we got to take five records for the quarantine, what are we doing? This is
you know what it is? It's weird with hip hop because I grew up with hearing more singles, and back then they weren't always full albums. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But I would still say, you know, all right, I would say Boogie Down Production, by all means necessary. That full album.
PPP, baby.
Rock Him, you know, whatever his first album, you know, Paid in Full album, whatever that record is, need that.
You wrote Set It Off to that to Rock Him.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm not just one of these guys like the old school, but I love that, you know, you need the PE record, you need the first Public Enemy record, you know what I mean? You need that, and I also would say, out of the later years, I can't front, like, the last record, the 50 Cent, Get Rich, Die Trying, that record, I literally bumped front to back, where I think this album is flawless. And after that, I still like hip hop, but I never fell into a whole album after that.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair play.
That out of the most recent shit, that record front to back, it's a banger.
Yeah.
My fault. The first beat, the big Smalls, Ready to Die. That's a must. A must.
That's my favorite right there, man.
I forgot that, but
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So Hoya, before we go, I also have a confession to tell you, man. On the tour that we did, I smoked weed with Hoya Roc, and I've never been more high in my life than when I smoked weed with Hoya. I've smoked weed with like almost every stoner metal band on earth.
Let them know.
I've done it all, and you know, I tried to, you know, I wanted to like be down with Madball, and I, you know, thought that I was like big, and you know, felt good about myself. And then I ended up running out of some kid's car.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Whose house we were supposed to stay in that night.
It was the winter tour we did, right?
Yeah, and it got a little hairy.
Told me.
So I just want to let you know that right now you have the title. You have the number one undisputed champion of marijuana belt.
Thank you. You know, it's for the cataracts, and you know, it's for the CBD intake. But I'm proud. I'm proud.
Dude, I'm saying, man, I mean, number one, absolutely. And then I will never forget, after, you know, everyone is mercilessly making fun of me, the next day I show up to the green room. I had a long night. I was like, woke up. I was like, fuck, man. And like, they're like, dude, you acted fucking crazy last night. And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know. I freaked out. I was with this weird kid in his car. I couldn't handle it. And I walk in to the dressing room, and I'm like feeling like shit. And I look at you, and you look at me, and you're just holding a joint, and you go, you scared?
Yeah.
And it was one of the funniest, most amazing things that's ever happened to me. And Hoya, it's always a fucking pleasure to hang out with you, man.
Good to see you.
Dude, yeah, absolutely, man. And whenever this bullshit is over, you know that Saint Vitus will love to have Madball back.
And I'm really, let me tell you, that's one of the most fun shows I had in a long time, and I want to play there. We all want to play there again. So.
Fuck yeah, man! Are you kidding me? Madball Mondays was it was a scene.
We're gonna do something, but hell yeah, for sure. Hold it down.
Absolutely, always, man, dude. You're the best. Have a great night. All right, take care of yourself, brother.
Hey, bro, and shout out everybody. Hold it down.
Yeah. Be safe. Go visit Hoya at Casa de Roc. Peace.